The Pokemon Unite shenanigans never end because what if Razor Claw is actually not a good item? It sounds blasphemous, but the recent update to Pokemon Unite DB showing the stats of the Pokemon and their scaling has given me a new look on the game. So they just updated with cooldown reduction and lifesteal, and the critical hit rate has been here for a while, but I never paid attention to how much crit Pokemon get at certain levels. And another weird thing to take note of is that a Pokemon's full crit potential is realized by level 9, even though all Pokemon get more bonus stats at level 13. So Speedsters are going to get like cooldown reduction and stuff, attackers are going to get lifesteal, and then you can also see like tank and defender Pokemon or special attackers get cooldown reduction and other stats like that. But level 9 is where the crit power spike happens, so that's kind of early in the game. It's a very achievable point. But that's where it started making me really think about Razor Claw, especially on certain Pokemon like the Garchomp. Because Garchomp, people are playing it wrong, and that's the point from my last video, but the overall summary is, you can go in on level 9. You don't have to be Garchomp. The Gabite level 9 power spike is real, because you're gaining 5% lifesteal, 10% critical hit rate. But, by comparison, that kind of makes the stats from Razor Claw really not matter, especially when you look into the scaling of Garchomp as well, because you got Dragon Rush or Dig. Well, that's kind of a low attack, so plus 15 attack on that doesn't really matter, especially on level 9, even like level 5 or something, because every Pokemon's gonna have Buddy Barrier, so 4,000 hit points, and then you're getting less than 15 bonus damage just from the item's base attack. So even though this seems like the dream item, the perfect item, you're getting plus 15, like it's the only crit plus attack item in the game, and then also has like all this attack scaling stuff we're going to get into. You go Razor Claw, you go Scope Lens, you go Buddy Barrier on any fighter auto attacker kind of Pokemon, and then it's just GG easy. No other decisions need to be made except for maybe Focus Band. And that's kind of like the argument. I'm like, does Razor Claw dethrone Focus Band in some situations? My early read was yes, but now it's inconclusive to no. And those are the Pokemon we're going to be talking about and breaking down. So even with Dragon Claw, like Dragon Claw doesn't have crazy scaling, so the base attack on Razor Claw isn't going to be for your ability casting. And it also kind of shows, like, with these cooldowns and stuff, you're not going to have complete Razor Claw uptime, which means you're not going to be getting as much of that 50% attack bonus damage. And that 50% attack bonus damage doesn't even matter on Pokemon like Garchomp. You're thinking, oh, Garchomp is going to have a crazy amount of base attack. Well, if we go back to this and we sort it by attack, Garchomp's down here at 246. But then we have other Pokemon like Zeraora at 358. So Zeraora coming in at level 9 or even level 5 and then having its passive online and stuff, it's going to have much more effectiveness from the Razor Claw, and it's also going to feel the Razor Claw a lot better, because when we go to a Pokemon's critical hit rate, 5% to 7.1%, that's going to be a 40+% increase of the critical hit stat. But then going from a 10% Pokemon like the Lucario, like the Garchomp, so yeah, level 5, boom, Machamp, Charizard, Garchomp, all this, going from 10% to 12%, that's only a feel of, 20% compared to that 40%, then other Pokemon are going to feel it less. So my initial read was, yo, Greninja, Cinderace, even though they're not melee attackers, they still want to utilize the stats that Razor Claw gives, because bonus attack after using abilities, these Pokemon still cast inside of their auto attack patterns, and yeah, even without the slow, it still sounds completely busted to add as much crit into the Pokemon as possible. But one thing I didn't realize is how high the Pokemon's crit goes to, because 30% on Greninja and Cinderace, well, Cinderace actually goes to 40% with its passive, which doesn't really separate too far from Greninja. And then if you go Scope Lens plus Razor Claw, that's 30% compared to 38%. Now, if you're always running Scope Lens and you're giving up Razor Claw, the difference is 36% to 38%. So that just feels meaningless. It feels like that 2% doesn't matter. Initially, when you look at Razor Claw pairing with the Scope Lens, you're like, yo, I need 8%. I need to get all the crit possible, because you can't find this stat anywhere else, and only certain Pokemon gain access to the crit. So I feel like the Razor Claw is going to be more effective on Speedsters or low base critting Pokemon than other Pokemon like the melee all-rounders and the ranged physical attackers. Because again, like 20%, okay, 26 versus 28, it's nothing. Even 20 versus 22, it doesn't feel like it. So if you can find a better item than the Razor Claw, that's already a good place to put value, showing that it might not be great on certain Pokemon. So let's take a look at Lucario scaling. Lucario scaling has always been nuts. So even the extreme speed, okay, having the plus 15 attack from the Razor Claw is good, and then your extreme speed, you auto attack, they're slowed and they have bonus damage, you get a reset. If you wait, like, you're not waiting 2 seconds, but I mean, you can use an extreme speed, reset it, and then use another extreme speed. So every second extreme speed is getting 50% more attack scaling on that auto, has the slow, has the Razor Claw passive, and has that chance to crit. So I think that you have to be looking for Pokemon with high attack scaling and short ability cooldowns to splash the Razor Claw onto. And I think my conclusion from that is that there's only really 2 Pokemon that I've looked into that are super viable on, and that's Zeraora and Lucario, because Zeraora going from 10% to 12% is a lot more meaningful than 20% to 22%. And also the passive. So you come in on that Spark Charge, you use it, they're slowed, then you get more auto attacks, it follows up, and it's going to be really good right there. Same thing for the level 5 gank. That Zeraora, it wants to use Slash. Slash has the knock up, and then if you knock someone up, that's crowd control, and the immediate follow-up is a slowing auto attack from the Razor Claw that has the slightly better feeling chance to crit, then alright, you got something there, and then you go into your passive, they get paralyzed, you get healing, and I think that's kind of it. Now, Talonflame gank. Now, the other speedsters get kind of weird with this because Talonflame's abilities don't crit. Now, Zeraora's abilities don't crit either, but we're going to compare Zeraora to Garchomp when we get just a little further ahead. So it's like, yeah, you're coming in on like that Razor Claw drop with the Scope Lens, and the follow-up auto attack critting would be cool, but you're not getting enough value to make that super reliable. So maybe like the crit Talonflame isn't the play, and it's more just like raw AD, and yeah, things get kind of messy. Same thing with Absol because of Super Luck messing with the formulas. But this is where I want to talk about Garchomp, and it kind of exposes what's going on with the Razor Claw. So Garchomp, even though it sounds like this is a perfect item, you slow them down, you keep them in it, you're doing the base damage. The base damage doesn't really scale that well. It also doesn't augment your abilities. You just want to sit there attacking people. Now, you do have crit inside of your abilities. So your abilities, like some certain Pokemon, their abilities can crit, others they can't. With Garchomp, your abilities can crit, so going from 20 to 26 sounds meaningful compared to that 20 to 28. So what item has more value than Razor Claw? I'm going to say Focus Band on the Garchomp. So Razor Claw initially coming off as the item that like competes with Focus Band, but on Garchomp, I actually don't think that's it, because what you want to do is you want to go Focus Band, Buddy Barrier, Scope Lens, get all of that critical hit damage, get all of that critical hit rate, stay in the fight longer, and then just go for consistent auto attacking. And then when your Focus Band procs, well, now you're going to be getting healing on your Focus Band, and Garchomp, with that lifesteal, is going to be healing more when it crits. So with Garchomp, you're effectively comparing a 2% chance to crit to 30% of your health return in the Focus Band. So if like that Focus Band allows you to survive, to get off an auto attack, to heal more, to then snowball through their cooldowns, you're just outperforming. So Garchomp doesn't want the Razor Claw. Now Lucario isn't as auto attack reliant, even though it's doing like an extreme speed little spin kick thing at the end. So I think that Lucario wants the Razor Claw, Focus Band, Buddy Barrier. Zeraora wants the Focus Band, Buddy Barrier, Razor Claw. But what it shows, like, if a Pokemon is using auto attacks as its primary means of damage, like if it's just there on consistent DPS, it doesn't want the Razor Claw. So that also brings us to Cinderace Greninja again, where it's like, yeah, the difference between 36 and 38% doesn't matter. The difference between 46 and 48% really doesn't matter when it comes to Cinderace's passive. So it's not just stat crit and then just burst down people on any kind of auto attacker. You want to have Buddy Barrier, Scope Lens, Focus Band on these Pokemon again. So Buddy Barrier, Focus Band cannot be escaped even with a shiny new item like the Razor Claw. Now, as for Muscle Band, I feel Razor Claw then falls into the same tier as Muscle Band as just not as good as other options. Comparing the Muscle Band to the Focus Band, you want the Focus Band even on Pokemon that are consistently auto-attacking. And the thing is, the Muscle Band is just a flat 7.5% attack speed, so it's not a multiplier on your attack speed stat. So Pokemon that start attacking more than 1 time per second, you're just adding 0.075 to it instead of point whatever, whatever. So let's say a Pokemon attacks 2 times per second. You don't go 2.15, you're still 2.075, and at that point, it's pretty negligible. We just show that the plus 15 attack scaling doesn't really matter as much. The slow is going to be better on the physical attackers, and the ranged attackers, they want to stay safe on the focus band, and they want the 6% crit added into their kit, because that's a lot more meaningful. That is a hearty amount of crit, especially with the crit damage. So you're getting that bonus crit damage on their lifesteal stat, which means they heal more, which means they get more durability than the 6 plus 2%, because this plus 2% can just be traded for 30% health and defenses, which Garchomp already has high defenses, so it doesn't get as much benefit from the focus band, but Greninja and Cinderace, they feel this a lot more, and it's giving them, 3 to 4% more durability on a level 20 focus band, and if you made a mistake and got a level 30 focus band, then you're still getting 4 to 5% durability, which is also being multiplied by bonus health that you're gaining through crits and lifesteal. Also, a weird thing about Muscle Band is that this remaining hit points doesn't really matter, because you're thinking, oh, if I hit a Snorlax with an auto attack and he has like 10,000 health, that's 300 bonus damage. No other item competes by just giving raw 300 bonus damage. The thing is, abilities are usually used first inside the fight. Also, as your teammates do damage, Muscle Band is getting less effectiveness. And if they do something like, if the opponents do something like use a shield or a buddy barrier while they're at a low amount of hit points, then you're going to be calculating that 3% on the hit points, not the shield. So shield plus remaining hit points could be like 100% total health, but you're only dealing based on the 30% of health that they have before the shields come into play. So you're not, like, Muscle Band just doesn't do anything to the shields, so your better option is just outlasting on the focus band, and then getting the higher crit damage on the higher chance to crit from the scope lens. Now, another weird consideration is that because Lucario's base damage is so high, and it also heals more based off of its attack, maybe attack weight over Razor Claw has some kind of argument as well. Because, like, plus 15 attack, well, we're just getting a higher attack from the attack weight, and at one score, you're already scaling into more damage. So then we have to look at what Lucario is getting / giving up. So that's Garchomp. I just have a lot of tabs open. That's Garchomp again. So now we have Lucario, level 9, 277 attack, Razor Claw every 2 seconds, and also plus, like, okay, so Razor Claw every 2 seconds is going to be, like, 150 more damage per 2 seconds, like 75 DPS. How do we get more than 75 DPS? Well, with a 225 attack scaling ability that you actually use more often than the Razor Claw reset. So I think at like 2 scores, I haven't done the exact math, I haven't brought out the Google Docs and the spreadsheet and crunched every single number, but it's like, I think at 2 scores, you're doing as much damage as the Razor Claw passive. And at 3, you're passing that, and you're also getting flat attack healing based off of this, and your auto attacks are still strong, and because Lucario has base lifesteal and crit rate, like that 20% crit rate, again, going from 20% to 22% off the Razor Claw, it's not like that crit matters and then gives you bonus lifesteal or something, and after you use your Unite move, you're getting attack speed from the Unite move anyway, so you're just punch, punch, punch. Those punches are going to be harder hitting with the attack weight than the Razor Claw, and then as you're waiting for abilities, or as you're utilizing abilities, you're just getting more damage. So it comes down to the slow value, and honestly, with all the mobility in the game, I don't think the slow matters either. Because, like, when someone realizes they're getting picked, they're flashing away. Like, they're going to use that. Now, blowing the cooldown means that if you engage within the next 70 seconds, you still have that advantage of them. Now, also, if they have Focus Band going, again, that is on a long cooldown, but it could show that the long-term scaling becomes much more rewarding than the, like, early game Razor Claw power fantasy. That just seems to be more of a fantasy than reality. And even at level 1 or level 3 or level 5, we're talking about 50% attack plus 20 on a random level 5, 6 Pokemon being generous. I don't know. And then we go to the attack and we can see it's like, outside of like Zeraora, or outside of Speedsters, Lucario's still kind of close, but again, Lucario's base damage is just going to like take off from the attack weight anyways. So a Pokemon like Garchomp, Greninja at 195, or just other random stray auto attacks. Yeah, like when you look at it, it's like, oh, who do we make the case for on this? Maybe Snorlax to kind of like keep them in on some shenanigans. I've heard nastiness about Mr. Mime with Razor Claw, but it's like only early game cheese, and then the item just doesn't exist, whereas Focus Band scales the entirety of the game, and the 6% chance with the extra crit damage scales even harder too. But again, let's just take Garchomp or something. So 200 something attack, 50%, 100 attack, plus the 20 flat. Let's say we're getting 150 bonus damage off the Razor Claw on a level 6 fight, 150 health based off of that. A tank item, like an Aeos cookie, is going to have more defensive and effective value than the Razor Claw is putting out offensively. So, and then again, Focus Band and all the other items. So I'm sounding like a broken record. That's because the record breaks whenever you look at it on every Pokemon, unless you're going for like some kind of weird specific cheese. Like, I haven't crunched numbers on Absol exactly, and since Talonflame's abilities don't crit, I don't think the Razor Claw works too much. And even like on a gank pattern where it's like, yeah, you want that slight little bit of damage, maybe Talonflame like not dying instantly or getting flat attack is the better way to go, because Talonflame has the base attack scaling on fly. So I think it really comes down to the Speedsters having the very high attack and then low critical hit rate to feel more value out of the Razor Claw than pretty much any other Pokemon. Even the Lucario, even though it sounds like the dream on Garchomp, Garchomp wants to just be surviving more, and then getting a Focus Band proc into a Scope Lens crit into Lifesteal that way. Also, it's Lifesteal passive. Another interesting thing about Zeraora is that it heals based off its missing hit points. So the third auto attack from Zeraora critting doesn't give it any more health on the Lifesteal because it actually isn't Lifesteal from the Zeraora. So you don't need that 2% to be like, but what if that 2% crits and then gives me the extra several hundred health to where now I'm popping off? It actually doesn't work that way. So Zeraora wants that Focus Band to survive and then just like chain the missing hit points as it's staying low and then getting hit, but then getting another Focus Band proc, then getting hit, then getting another third auto attack proc, and just never dying that way, while also stacking Volt Absorb, waiting for cooldowns, and then getting disgusting. And then because it's a Speedster, it gets that higher cooldown reduction, and the game gets nuts. And then just to be clear, since I've been bouncing back and forth a lot and talking about a lot of things, Greninja and Cinderace want the Buddy Barrier, Focus Band, and Scope Lens. It just seems like the most optimal usage of your stats because you have very low defenses, so you're really going to feel that Focus Band. You're going to be comboing your Lifesteal with the Focus Band passive, keeping you alive. You also have crits, so that's going to be more value into all of your stuff, and then the Scope Lens just adds into that, whereas the Razor Claw feels like it doesn't really add enough anywhere else. So I think that's going to be the key point, and then Lucario's attack scaling is so high and so frequent on the extreme speeds, it actually gets less damage out of the Razor Claw than the attack weight. And also, you're Lucario, so you're going to bully the opponents to find a score in one way or another. No, Score Shield does not work on Lucario. Score Shield is still the worst item in the game objectively. It doesn't work on any Pokemon ever. So you don't be like, oh, well, I'm going to take off Razor Claw and put it in Score Shield. No, you still go Buddy Barrier, Focus Band, third optimal item for most Pokemon except for Zeraora and Speedsters, it seems. And then there's always a better item than Score Shield. So let's get that out of the way. And then what Garchomp wants is Buddy Barrier, Focus Band, Scope Lens as well. That's going to give you the most optimization, and you need to play into your level 9 Power Spike, be with the team, win that team fight, scale into level 10 even harder, and then pop off from there, instead of falling back, having your team lose tempo because you're farming Audino, or you fell back to grab a Vespiquen in the opposite lane, or you're split push and get level 10. Don't do that. Garchomp gets strong. Everything else kind of makes sense, and I think that's where we're at. So, yeah, Razor Claw viability, not on all the attackers like it seems. Mostly Zeraora, maybe the other Speedsters, and then Greninja, Cinderace, still ridiculous on their core build. Don't go Muscle Band because it doesn't scale with them well either, and there we go. So, guys, enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.